Okay, so another video for you guys. 300 blackout. So if you and I've probably never shown this, but this is my 300 blackout pistol that I built. 10.5-inch barrel. It's a Radical Firearms upper. I bought the upper, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. It was an overstock deal for like $100. Just couldn't pass it up at the time, so I bought it. Never touched it for a while and sat there until last year or a couple months back, whatever. I finally ended up buying the whole lower kit for it and buying a whole new bolt carrier group, in which I ended up just buying an upgraded bolt carrier group, put that in a different rifle, pulled the one out of that one, slapped it in this one. Since 300 blackout does use a 5.56 bolt, blah 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 blah. So the issue I was having is that after I finally got it all together, I went to go test fire. I would get one loaded, pull the trigger, it'd fire and eject halfway, and I didn't know it at the time, but the ejector would slip off the end of the boat tail on the shell, and then it would start sending another round in, so you get a double feed into the pipe. And when it comes to an AR, you have to remember there's a lot of moving parts, and the first thing I thought of was, well, maybe the gas system's out of whack or something's misaligned, something, who knows. So after bringing it home and tearing it apart and looking at the gas system, everything's fine. Everything's aligned, everything's good size. Then I started thinking, well, maybe it's the buffer spring, or I could use a lighter buffer spring, or something with the buffer. So after I put it back together, knowing that it's perfectly aligned, I took it back out, and I just so happened to have another rifle that needed to go back out and be sighted in as well. And so in doing this, it gave me a reference. So after sighting in the other rifle and knowing that it works flawlessly, put it off to the side, grab my 300 blackout, one shot, boom, double feed, just like I knew it's been doing. So with doing this, I just swapped the upper onto the lower. Don't tell nobody. And it did the same thing. Okay. Well, switching over to my regular rifle upper, on the pistol lower, ran fine. So it got me thinking, well, maybe it's not the spring or the buffer. So I swapped BCGs just for shits and giggles. Lo and behold, 300 blackout ran perfectly fine. And then when I grabbed the other rifle to test it through there, it did the same exact thing. So that already tipped me off that, yeah, there's something up with the BCG. And so after doing this, then I realized, okay, well, when I get home, I'll take a look at it, do a little bit better investigation. So I bring it home, start looking at them side by side, start playing with them. I found the issue. So I'm going to change out the extractor spring, see if that helps. The only thing I don't have is the O-ring for this upgraded kit. So it's a spring and the little detent that comes with it, just not the O-ring, which isn't a big deal anyways. But I will show you guys now what I'm talking about, the difference in the different bolts. So I have 3 different bolts, and one of them is the problematic one. So you'll see that here in a minute. Okay. All right, guys, take a look. So you see how I can push that, with my thumb pressing on this back end of it. Okay, this is the issue here. This is another bolt from one of my other rifles, and this is, I mean, pushing on this, okay, doesn't move. Here's a third one for comparison. That one barely moves. So you see the problem there. We'll take this pick here. Focus. Oh, I slipped. Aye. Well, you get the picture. This is nice and tight. Okay. This one, same thing. Nice and tight. Now, this is the one we have an issue with here. See how easy that moves? If the camera would focus. Yeah, that right there, that's not good. So, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the spring with a brand new one. See how that fares us. Okay, so for any of you guys who've never taken a bolt carrier group apart, this is just quick and simple, and what you should definitely learn to do so you can clean these properly. Yes, my towel is dirty. This is my gun cleaning towel, because all I gotta do is wash it later on after it's done, and I don't get yelled at for it. So, bolt carrier group. Pull your cotter pin. Well, that's great. Okay, so we pulled the cotter pin. Then we will pull the firing pin. And you can do this whatever. We turn it upside down. The camera's kind of low, so, gotta make do. There's your alignment pin. And we'll turn that 90 degrees. And just pick it up, pull it out. Done and done. Bolt comes right out. Carrier to the side. So this is your bolt. This is your extractor. This is the problematic one, because you're not supposed to be able to do that. So I just take the firing pin. If you don't have a punch, and you pull this pin out, but make sure you put tension on your extractor so that this doesn't fall apart. And just like that, there's your extractor. Done and done. Now, this little guy right here, yes, that is the spring. This is the one that's giving us problems. So, we're going to replace that. And so with this, I'm just going to go ahead and use this pick because I have it. And we're just going to pull this thread out. Okay. So there's the spring that we just pulled out. Open the bag. compared to the new one. So when you put these in, you will know that there's a smaller end and a bigger end when you look at these. So that's the bigger end, that's the smaller end. Bigger end goes into this little cutout here that we got. So I'll just take this and slap it into place, and you'll hear it click in. So boom, we're done and done. So with this in, we'll go ahead and line this up. Make sure you put some pressure on here so you can push this pin back in. Wow. I know they say it really shouldn't matter which way this pin goes in, but sometimes I think it matters. You know, they come out real easy. There it goes. Now you want to make sure this pin is fairly even on each side. So it's not sticking out on each end. Oh yeah, that's much better. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I cannot press that. Yeah, definitely a lot stiffer than this other spring. So I don't know if it was this spring was just defective or what, but there you go. Quick fix, especially if your rifle's not extracting rounds and giving you a double feed to where both rounds are going into your chamber. And after doing that, then we just reassemble. Bolt in. Alignment pin go in, because things never like to go in as easy as they come out. And firing pin through the back side. Done. Cotter pin back in through the side. Voila! All back to normal. Done and done. There you go. So, if you like this video, you guys know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe, share. Tell all your friends about me. Don't forget to tip your waitress. You guys have a good one.